Hi everybody, this is Katina and you are here for an unboxing video today. Feel free to ask questions if you have them also, which is fine. I'm a big fan of questions always. So put the questions in the chat and I will try and get to them at the end, but I'm going to go ahead and jump into opening this box. So this is from Jewel Musical Services, or excuse me, Jewel Musical Products, and I put the link in our description here. I'm just going to make sure my sound is off. And these are the Eddie Daniels ligatures, and they sent me some for B flat clarinet and bass clarinet. Hey Zara, hi Riley. David says hi, Shane says hi. It's good to see everybody. Well, I mean, you can see me, but I can't see you. So I'm opening up the box now. There is a piece of paper in here that's testimonials from people that have tried these ligatures, which I just cut with my knife. So I'm going to just rip the plastic so I can take this out. So we have a whole bunch, oh my gosh, it's front and back of testimonials of all these people that like them. We have tons of people. And then there's a description of the ligatures right there. Jewel Musical Products is based out of Washington, MI. Is that Michigan? Mississippi, not Minnesota? You can put it in the comments. Eddie finally gets to watch. Hello. So I'm opening up now. This is a hard one to open. And oh, we've got a whole bunch here. Oh, look at these nice little boxes with Eddie Daniels. Eddie Daniels is actually the first clarinetist that I heard where, he was the first professional clarinetist that I'd heard. And I didn't hear him live, I heard a recording. My Aunt Michelle, shout out Aunt Michelle, she had an album, an old album, because that's me, I'm dating myself, of Breakthrough by Eddie Daniels. And if you haven't heard this, go find Solfeggetto. It's on YouTube. There's an old recording of him playing it. It's amazing. And he has an amazing, beautiful, just golden dark sound. And when I heard Eddie Daniels play, that was my moment. I'm like, I want to be a professional clarinetist. This is it. I love it. I love how he sounds. I love how he plays. So I'm excited to try some of these ligatures. Through the years, I've heard him play, and he's just fantastic. So if you ever get a chance to hear him play, go. But definitely get some of his recordings. They are great too. So we're going to try these ligatures. And then there's some ripped up paper packaging to keep these ligatures from rattling around. Hey, band director. Oh, Dave's here from Jewel Music. Good. Okay, so I'm going to jump right in. Now, let's talk about trying a ligature. When you try a ligature, you want to have a nice fresh reed. So I put out 2 boxes of reeds. I've got my bass reeds and my B flat reeds here. And I'm going to start with a nice reed so it's not warped. I know that's not chipped or cracked. Not that I have reeds that have that, but the warping can be very subtle and you don't even notice it. So I'm going to start with a brand new reed. Hopefully I like this reed. If I don't like this reed, I will try another one. So what I'm listening for in a ligature: beautiful sound, nice balance. I don't want any squawks or chirps in there. I want to be able to articulate nice and cleanly. These are all very important things for me. So nice, beautiful ligature right here. I'm going to unscrew it a little bit. So this also looks like one of the ligatures that you could modify. Dave, answer questions in here, please, as they arise. So I have one here. Some ligatures you can modify for left-handed people. This is a heads up for everybody. This is an inverted ligature when I put it on my mouthpiece. So when you have an inverted ligature, the screw goes in the back. I've said this before and I'll say it again. If I had $1 for every time somebody writes to me on my YouTube channel that my ligature is backwards, I wouldn't even have to have advertisements on these videos. I'd be totally financially secure. So this is an inverted ligature, and the reason why, ooh, and I just opened a different one. I'm taking these out of the boxes too fast. Okay, so, and the box is talking. Wait, listen. Dude. That's amazing! I love this box. Wait, we're gonna do it again. How did it do it? Oh, that was so cool. I thought something was wrong with my YouTube channel. Oh, that's amazing. Okay, so this ligature here is the Signature Series carbon fiber. So what I'm already liking, and I haven't even played it yet, are these two rails that are on the inside. You can see them right there. And what that means is that is going to be resting on the reed. Remember when I said I like that balance? Do you see that space in between there? That's excellent. That's going to help with articulations, and that's also going to help with sound. I'm really glad Dave is with us so he can elaborate on what I'm talking about. So the carbon fiber one is the one I'm going to try first. I do love that box. That's the greatest box I've ever experienced. All right, so I'm putting it on, and I'm just going to be very careful. What I like is also it's not a metal ligature on the side, so I don't have to worry about scratching my mouthpiece. I can keep my mouthpiece in good shape. I'm just loosening the screw a little bit, and I'm lowering it that way. And Dave, I did get a little bit ahead of myself when that box started, you know, playing the clarinet recording of Eddie Daniels in there. But I wanted to ask if this was the kind of ligature that you could switch to the other side for left-handed people. So I'm taking my reed off because I noticed there was something behind it. So now I'm just gonna put it back on, and I'm excited to play it. And Dave, if you can also elaborate the difference between the carbon fiber and the other ligatures that you have in there. Okay, here we go. I feel like I said, oh, I love this ligature. Just like Eddie Daniels did. So already what I like about it is it has this really bold ring to the sound, which is great. I'm really, really into that. I feel that there's still a good core in there. It's not getting spread, and I can put a lot of air in it. So I like putting a lot of air behind the reed when I play. And the problem with that is it can get spread. Your sound can get away from you. So I always have to pay attention to what I'm doing so I don't get there. But this, I feel like I can put a lot of air in there. You hear how that ring is still in there? Then, so I listen for the sound, and I like to listen to it through the registers. So what I'm going to do, and that's a sign of a good ligature, so I got a little bit ahead of myself, I always play the same thing over and over again to compare the ligatures. So let me get the other one out. And so it looks like I'm pulling out the bass clarinet ones, so we're going to try those too. Let me get the other B flat, and then what I'm going to do is pull out one of my B flat ligatures that I play on so that I can compare it to the one that I'm currently using, which is really important to do. Okay, so it's only that one box that talked to me. That was amazing. Okay, so the ligature that I have right now is the Signature Series Gold. So I have that one here, and then I have the Signature Series Carbon Fiber, right? Is that what I said? Yep, that's the carbon fiber that's on there right now. And then I'm going to grab my Silverstein Hexa that I have over here, so I have something to compare it to that I'm used to. So when you're trying ligatures, keep your ligature handy and start there. I was so excited about this unboxing, I didn't start with my ligature. So what I'm going to do is I've got my Silverstein handy, I've got the carbon fiber here, and then I have the gold one here, and I'm going to play the same thing each time. So when I play, I'm going to listen for how it sounds in the three main sections of the clarinet. We've got the chalumeau, which is the low section, the clarion, which is the middle section. That's when you hit your register key. That's the clarion range. And then when you roll this index finger off, that is your altissimo range. So those are the three ranges I'm going to listen to the sound in. I want that sound to be as matched as possible. Of course, every section of the, or every range, or every area of the clarinet has its own personality and its own colors to it, its own character, but I do like to have some kind of consistency in there. So that's one of the things I'm listening for. Specifically for the clarion range, I don't want this sound to get too spread. Specifically for the altissimo range, I really don't want it to get spread, and I also want to have a beautiful sound quality up there. It's already hard enough to work up there to get a good sound quality. I want my ligature to help me get there better. So we're going to do this F major scale slurred up so that I can listen to the sound quality in all the ranges. And then I'm going to tongue it down because I want to know how this ligature feels with articulations. I have found lovely ligatures with beautiful, beautiful sounds, but then when I do the articulations, they're a little bit chirpy or a little bit resistant or a little bit muddy feeling, and then I can't use that ligature because I need to have a ligature that has really nice articulations so that I can trust it. All right, here we go. Okay, so that was my ligature that I play on. Let's try the Eddie Daniels Signature Gold. And I'm one of those people that will keep my reed on, so you can see me holding my reed on with my thumb. That was my last video release, actually last Saturday, how to put the ligature on the mouthpiece. I'm always surprised that it's challenging for people, and if you're not taught how to put the ligature and the reed on, it's amazing how long you can go without knowing, and eventually you figure it out. But I've had students when I come in and do clinics that have these these reeds that are all broken and ligatures that are all bent. You have to take care of them. All right, before I play it, I want to show you how this looks. Okay, do you see how, I'm just going to try and get this to focus a little bit. Do you see how these bars are balanced on the reed? What I like is that they're actually hanging off the reed a little bit. So that says to me it's going to give more security, and I'm going to just hazard a guess that the articulations are going to be more secure feeling and more reliable for me. F major scale. One of the interesting things about trying out ligatures is that you notice what you were doing with your old ligature to make that work for you, and then when you play the new one, you're overcompensating in places that you didn't know you were doing that. So for me, it was the articulations on the way down that I have to support a lot more and hit them a lot harder to get them to speak the way I want on the Silverstein, yet here I hit them too hard and they got a little bit spread. So I can actually back off a little bit on the articulations on this one and not have to work so hard to get those to speak. So also it's really, really nice to be able to play a high F just right like that. So that's nice for me. It's great to have an a ligature that I can just trust that articulation right there. All right, beautiful. I like the sound through the registers. Let's try this carbon fiber one. And then what I'll do is I'll take a pause and I'll go through all the questions that I've been seeing pop up, and then we'll move over to the bass clarinet and we'll try out some of these bass clarinet ligatures. All right, here we go. Make sure my reed's lined up. This is the carbon fiber one. I'm going to show you how that looks. So there we've got our two rails. This is the back. This is the front. When you are tightening the ligature, please don't tighten it all the way. Tighten it till it just stops. I've seen people break ligatures. You don't want to have grooves in the reed or anything like that. F major scale. I had to fix my computer again. Okay, so I love this carbon fiber one. So this is my favorite. And this is why it's important for you to try many different ligatures. If you can get to a clarinet day, if you can get to your local music store, try a bunch of ligatures. We're all different. So the ligature that I like the best today may not be the ligature that you like the best. So when people say, oh, this is the best ligature and you have to get it, take it with a grain of salt and go try some and find ones that work for you. So for instance, there are going to be other people that are going to love this gold one and not like the carbon fiber one, but this one I like the best because for me, it helped me get closer to the sound that I hear in my mind. I like a darker sound, and that's what I felt in here. I also feel like the range is really, really nice and connected. I also really, really like like this stability and control and color in the Altissimo range. I think it's really, really beautiful. So this is my favorite one. I really, really like the carbon fiber one. The other thing that I like about these Eddie Daniel ligatures is the cloth ligature here. So for those of us that do a lot of doubling, if you're playing B flat or A clarinet, we have to switch our clarinets a lot. So what I do is then I tighten the ligature more than I normally do, right? I get it on there real tight, and then I just take off my mouthpiece, and then I put it on my A clarinet. With a ligature like this, it's much more likely to stay on my mouthpiece, so I'm not constantly fixing where my reed placement is. Now, of course, I didn't tighten it up just then, so it wasn't as, so I have to adjust my reed. But it's really important for me to have a ligature that I can switch clarinet mouthpieces on. And some of them, you just can't do that. They move around too much, and that counts for me. Here's another thing that I like about this ligature. It is not hard to put on. Sometimes I have tried ligatures and I have loved them, and I will play them for a long time. But when I tighten the screw, the reed moves, and it drives me bananas because it takes me a lot longer to get that reed on there because I'm constantly adjusting the reed while I'm adjusting the ligature. What I've been able to do with this Eddie Daniels ligature is put my reed on, tighten the ligature, I'm done, which is really, really important, especially for younger players. When I do a lot of work with younger students, that's really frustrating. I hate those stock ligatures that come with the clarinets. I frankly would much rather see no stock mouthpieces, no stock ligatures, and when you get the clarinet, then you go ahead and you pick out your mouthpiece and you pick out a ligature, you know, just like you picked out your clarinet. Or, you know, put a good mouthpiece in there and put a good ligature in that case, and just up the cost of that clarinet like $100 or $200. When you're spending a lot of money on a clarinet, that sounds like a lot right now, but some of these student models are $1,800, and you just, you know, round it up to $199.9 or something. So anyway, what's nice about this ligature is I put it on, I tighten the screw, and the reed isn't moving. So this is a huge, huge bonus, especially for younger people, because what I've noticed is if the equipment isn't working for young people, and then it can be actually very discouraging. And people, when they're first starting out on the clarinet and other instruments and other things you start out on, it can feel like you're the problem when it's not you. It's the reed, or the ligature is making the reed go crooked. You have it all lined up, you spend all that time, and then you tighten the ligature and the reed moves over. That's a giant pain in the butt. And then you have little squeaks, or you have hard time articulating, or it doesn't sound good, or your reed is really hard, really difficult to play on that reed. So I really love a ligature that just tightens and you're done. It's like set it and forget it, for those of you that know that illusion that I'm talking about. All right, so I'm going to scroll into some of these questions that have been popping up in here. Okay, here we go. I am so happy Dave is with us because he is jumping in and answering them. Okay, so Dave says, what's your favorite bass clarinet brand, and what would you recommend for beginners? Oh, bass clarinets? Bass clarinet, I can answer that question real fast. I mean, I play a Selmer and I love it, and people play buffets and they love them, and Yamaha, people love them. So those are your top three. So everybody's different. I liked the buffet for different reasons than I liked the Selmer. So my recommendation for bass clarinets for beginners, if you're going to be beginner, a plastic one, you're still going to get a good sound, but it's not as likely to crack, which is horrific if your bass clarinet cracks. Now, if you're an adult beginner, and I don't mean to throw young players under the bus here, it's not them that's the playing thing with beginner, it's the location of that clarinet. It's spending a lot of time on a bus, it's spending a lot of time in car trunks, it's spending a lot of time traveling back and forth to school, and a lot of other people are using them. That's why I recommend the plastic ones for programs, because they're more hardy than a wooden one. But if you have the capabilities of caring for it properly, then the wooden ones are lovely, but it's not quite the same situation as a B-flat clarinet, where it does make a difference in sound in a much bigger way with the wooden ones. Because it's a price point. I mean, you can get a wooden low C extension for $12,000 plus, where the plastic ones are less. So I really do prefer the Selmers, buffets, and Yamahas of bass clarinets. Okay, Michigan, thank you very much. And David says, I play B-flat soprano and want a bass. Oh my gosh, it's worth it. I love them. And Zara says, it's a long time to see you live. Hi, it's good to see you. The mouthpiece, I'm not playing on the Vocalese right now. I am playing on one of the other Bakun mouthpieces. and I am just so embarrassed that I don't know the name. I think it's the Zero. It's a guess. I'm after it wears off and I can't read it anymore, I don't even know what it is anymore. Okay, do you know any place in Europe having those Eddie Daniels ligatures at an affordable price? Georgia, I don't know. And you had asked me before about the Rovner ligatures too, and I don't know about the European markets for those. Tanish, hi. Alexandra, hello from Sweden. Hello from America. And then Tanish, how would I clean my mouthpiece? I have an M12. So mouthpiece cleaning, I use cold water, a little bit of lemon juice, and a soft cloth. I actually have a swab that I allow that swab to get wet, and I just clean it with that. You want to be very, very gentle when you clean your mouthpiece. Do not use hot water. That can warp your mouthpiece. And don't use any chemicals, because that can actually damage whatever the material your mouthpiece is made out of, because there are a lot of different mouthpiece materials. So you can also use hydrogen peroxide, but it might discolor your mouthpiece. But lemon juice has worked fine for me. You don't want to use any kind of brush to scrub it, because that can also scratch the inside of your mouthpiece. So soft cloth, cold water, and lemon juice. Lemon juice works. Vinegar will work also. Apple cider vinegar, white vinegar too. I use the lemon juice because it tastes better. Light activated. So that's how it worked. I love this box. This is the greatest. Oh, now it's talking to me again. I'm going to put it over here. That is so, so cool. Enclave, I wish I had this, right? It's cool. And so I put a link to the website for Jewel Musical Products. And if your local music store doesn't have it, you can contact Jewel and see if they will help get it to your local music store. Okay, Georgia, do you know any place in Europe having the Eddie Daniels ligatures at an affordable price? I want the gold. Band director, that's Dave. I'm going to bump that one over to you about the European market because I don't know. And yes, you can redo this ligature and make it a left-handed ligature. So that's fantastic, because it really is the saddest thing when you see kids put a ligature on backwards, because what they'll do, if those of you that haven't seen it before, is they'll take this ligature and they'll put it on backwards so that they can screw it in on this side. So the rails will be in the back of the mouthpiece, which isn't where we want them. We don't want them to be there. So what you can do is you can take the screw off and put it there. The other thing I see the poor lefties do is they're like doing this kind of thing to screw their ligature on. So yay! I'm not a lefty, but I feel for you lefties. Okay, so Gold Series is aluminum, carbon fiber is made of carbon fiber. Okay, and gold is 24 karat gold, and no, it's anodized aluminum. Dave is answering all the questions. Thank you so much. For dealer information, he's giving you his email address, so I just allowed that. YouTube didn't allow it. It's very bulky at the reed right here. Is that what you're talking about? Okay, that's actually a good thing. So when it's bulky like that, it resonates more. And Dave is going to fill in a little bit with the logistics of the science of that. But if you think about this, I'm one of those people that likes a thick mouthpiece patch for that reason. So if you have a little bit of thickness in there, that's going to help you get that darker sound. It's really, really interesting. And it's not as bulky in real life as it looks in the video. It looks like, you're not going to be holding your clarinet like that. So when I'm holding it like this, it doesn't look that much, especially compared to other ligatures I've seen. And since the bulkiness is facing me, it's not going to be something that you would notice as much. Okay, it's it's thick. Okay, do you have a contrabass clarinet or I do not have any of the bigger clarinets, bass clarinet as far as I go. Jarrett says, I was writing some stuff and stopped what I was doing to watch this. Hi. And then Eddie says, I noticed articulation seemed like it was easier. Yes. So that's another thing. I just did the scale articulations. It's also something that I do is I check the faster articulations. Yeah, and then I try and do those articulations in different ranges of the clarinet to see how they feel there. Let's do the altissimo. Any grunts, no grunts. This is really easy to articulate up here. I had a little bit of scooping there, but my embouchure wasn't really set up very nicely. So there's also not scooping going on, which is something that I notice that I pay attention to in ligatures as well. Yes, and so he's Dave is answering the size and weight, add weight and size and focus and core to the sound, and I'm absolutely hearing that. And you don't notice it when you're playing it. It doesn't feel any different than just holding my regular clarinet. Totally. Dave, you said CF sounds amazing, and that's carbon fiber, but it's also my initials, Katina Franklin. And then I got married, so I added the sweetie. But it's like Katina Franklin sounds amazing. So thanks. Very clear, it does. So smooth is also very, very true. Okay. Alrighty, here we go. It's exciting. I've been looking for a new ligature. Yes, I mean, I am a nerd. I do love trying ligatures, and I really like this one. Would it fit on an alto sax mouthpiece? So I am guessing no for the B flat ligature. So they, on the website, they do have saxophone ligatures, so you could check that to see. I'm sure they have saxophone ones. Any good classical intermediate songs for me to learn? I have to play today and really want to learn something. Oh, Jared, why do you ask me these hard questions when I'm talking about ligatures? I have to add, you know what? Clarion Caper is good. Canzonetta is good. There's a bunch out there. There's a great book. The Rubank Book of Solos has a lot of good ones in there, if you have that one. Okay, no stock. All right, so many people are deterred from playing because of the stock mouthpiece. Oh, Eddie, seriously, that stock mouthpiece. It's horrible. I don't even know if it's worse. Well, the mouthpieces are pretty bad, but those stock mouthpieces are just terrible. And I agree, so many people are deterred because of the stock. They have them in, okay, so Jewel Music does have them in all the different saxophones. Why you don't play Ligier European? You like Kane better? Yes, people have asked me this question a lot. I do not like the way the Ligers feel. For me, I'm a very kinesthetic kind of person. I like the way the cane feels, but I will play a Ligier on my bass. I actually like to use it on the bass when I double a lot because my reed will dry out on the bass. Now, from what I've been reading, these ligatures really go well with the Ligers. People are really, really happy with the combination of the Ligier and their Eddie Daniels ligatures. And I don't have a Ligier to try, but I was reading about that before I got on here. It says you tried the Eddie Daniels ligatures before you. Oh, well, I'm trying them now for the first time. And then Eddie says, I bet the carbon fiber is super light in weight. Yeah, let's compare it. I'll take it off. And this is my very scientific test of weight. Oh my gosh. There's a slight difference, but you know what? If you were to have me close my eyes and then you were to put one in my hand, I would probably pick the other one. But it feels to me like the gold one, this is aluminum, that it's a little bit heavier. So that was a good one. Okay, these are new to the market in the last 6 months. You can find them at Woodwind, Brasswell Music, and Arts Fox's Music, and many other local dealers. And then Dave is saying, have your local music store contact us, contact Jewel, and you can try them in the store. And like I said, I recommend trying them out. Of course, it's COVID-19, so you may not be able to try them in the store. 1, because you're going into a store. 2, because you're not wearing a mask. 3, because we're playing a woodwind instrument. So what I would do is I would call your store and ask them if you can leave a deposit. A lot of stores will let you do this, leave a deposit, take them home and try them, pick out the one you want, and then bring it back. Other music stores I know have the plastic shields up so you can go into a place and try it out. Some of them have practice rooms, you can go in and try them out there, and some of them have been letting people try them out in the parking lot. So I would definitely call your music store first to see what they say. Somebody says my music store won't order things special. Oh no, Eddie. Okay. I have not tried the Wizard mouthpieces. Band director, okay, it's important that a flat block fits a tapered mouthpiece. Absolutely. Alto is different than the clarinet ligature. Yes, this is very true. Thank you for bringing that up. I use a crystal mouthpiece, so the lighter the better. Yep. And then Ivan says, hi from Italy. I've been playing the clarinet for many years, studying at the conservatory, and the only thing I can get right are the altissimo notes and double tonguing. Oh man, you guys and your hard questions. Altissimo, long tones, lots and lots and lots of long tones. Play your long tones. So, and I have an exercise written out for long tones that helps, and I've been meaning to do a video on it, and I just haven't had a chance to. But yeah, you definitely want to practice your long tones for the altissimo range, and then double tonguing is the tick, 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 tick. So I'm saying T and K, and I actually practice that without a clarinet. And then I get that going, and then on open G, I do the t, k, t, k, like that on open G, and build your way up from there. And then once you can get that to a speed that's comfortable for you, then you can start adding the fingerings in. I'm trying to carefully put these back into the box because I'm a stickler for putting things back into the box properly. Of course, I forgot the little things here. So with the t, it's the trick is lining up your fingers with the t and the k like that. So. All right, I'm going to put this one away, and now let's try some bass clarinet mouthpieces. For me, bass clarinet is just a little bit different than B flat. I don't have one of the big scooped necks that are more like B flat necks. I actually like my neck on my bass clarinet this way, so I'm happy with the setup that I have here. But that means that I'm looking for different things in a ligature than I'm looking for in a B flat ligature. Specifically for the bass, I want to be able to tongue really low on the bass clarinet with a lot of power. I play a lot of low notes on the bass because I do a lot of clarinet choir music, and when you're playing bass and clarinet choir, it's like you're covering for the percussion section you're missing. So I need to be able to tongue down there really powerfully, but not have any squeaks or any chirps or any squawks down there. I want to be able to trust my ligature that has my reed on securely so that I can have the power that I need in my articulations. Then once you get into the clarion range of the bass, for those of you that are familiar with bass, everybody has a different spot, but for me, my spot that's a little challenging is right around here with the G over the break. I have to be a little more gentle in there, G sharp area, because that is like a squeak zone for me. I have to have a different voicing. So when I have a ligature, I'm paying attention to what my ligature is doing in that area, especially for the articulations. I want to make sure that the articulations are trustworthy there. So for me with bass, it's a lot about articulations. And then obviously I want beautiful sound. I want a nice, big, rich sound. I love a big bass clarinet sound. I mean, seriously, let's just go for it when we're playing the bass clarinet. Once again, I'm using a new reed on my bass so that it's nice and flat in the back and it can give a better idea of what the sound is and the control is. George has asked me about when I did the Vocalese mouthpiece thing. I did a trial, or I did one of these unboxings with the Vocalese mouthpiece, and I couldn't pick one. I liked all of them. I liked 3 out of the 5. All right, so the ligature I'm using on here is a Bonade, because I've been happy with the Bonade. I've liked it, but I've actually been wanting to upgrade my bass ligature for a long time, and I just haven't found one that I liked. I'm also very careful about the price range of ligatures. Sometimes I feel like they can get a little crazy with the prices, and then when they're too crazy with the price and you are playing bass clarinet, it's like they double crazy. So I've been making do with my Bonade ligature. All right, so I'm just going to play a couple notes. I'm just going to do 2 octaves on the bass for now, and then I'll do the altissimo separately. So I'm going to do slur up and tongue down. All right, and I'm going to do the same order I did last time. And you're seeing me pick up my bass and lie it across my lap to put my ligature on. For me, because I am short, I have found that that's actually an easier way for me to put the ligature on. I know other people don't do it that way. They're able to do it while the bass is still standing with them. And that's okay. Everybody's different. But I'll tell you one thing. I always have to make sure that I have my equipment set up and ready to go before I go on stage so I don't smack people with my bass clarinet when I flip it over. All right. So this is the gold. Same thing. Wow, could you hear that difference right away? I mean, the first note I played was a huge difference. I'm never playing my Bonade ligature again. That was amazing. So that big rich sound that I was talking about with bass clarinet that I love so much, there it was right there. That's exactly what I'm always looking for. That was a huge difference. I mean, I'm going to put that Banod back on at some point just so you can hear it. It was enormous. So already I love that big ringing sound, which is great. Just the core and the sound is really, really good, and it feels good to play. The articulations. So that's what I was talking about. You want to be able to put a lot of power down in there and really hit those notes. Absolutely, totally stable, very secure feeling. I can trust this ligature setup so that I'm not going to have any, squeaks, because boy, when a bass clarinet squeaks, it is gloriously bad. All right, now that G was that note that gives me trouble before. So one of the things I learned from Richie Hawley when you're trying equipment is when you want to keep playing it, that's how you know you have found some good equipment. All right, so that's the gold. Let's get the carbon fiber. Where did I put it? Oh my gosh, if you guys could see my desk, it's absolutely embarrassing. All right, it's over here. All right, I'm going to flip my bass again. All right, but yes, that was a huge difference. Ew, I dropped my reed. I'm still going to use it. It's just me in here and some cats, so I'm going to get cat fur in my mouth, I'm sure. All right. There it is. That's the carbon fiber. I'm excited to hear this one because this is the one I liked on the B-flat clarinet the most. But as you can see, it's really, really important to go try other ligatures. Sometimes people just sort of get stuck and they'll say certain name brands and they'll be like, well, this is the only one, or this is the best one of them all. And then, you can try other ones and it's not even, it's not even close to what that other one is. We're all different. And so I'm really, really enjoying this. All right, this one I have to loosen a bit more, so I'm going to take it off. The ligature is a little bit, it's giving me there it is. So if you're trying ligatures, you're putting ligature on and you're noticing it's not going on and you've loosened the screw nut, take it off the clarinet mouthpiece for a second. And then all I needed to do was just pull it with my fingers. I found when people try and force it on, they can actually damage their ligatures. And you don't want to do that. So now it's loosened up for me to put it on the mouthpiece and put it on my reed. So just be careful. It's sort of that rule of thumb, when you're fixing things or you have a key that isn't working in a door, don't force it. Try and figure out what the problem is and then go from there. So this one, there we go. So I just want to lower it a little bit on my mouthpiece because it's a little too high up for me there. I want to make sure those rails are lined up, which they're not, so I'm just going to scooch it over a bit. Sometimes with new ligatures, they just need to be broken in a little bit, just like reeds do. In the olden days, I didn't have to wear glasses when I put ligatures on. These were just for reading, but then I turned 40, and now I wear them to put my reeds on. All right, here we go. Same thing, F major scale. That's even bigger than the gold. That's huge. Huge sound. I'm loving both of these ligatures. And they have really, I feel like they have these personalities of the sound that I'm getting from them. So for me, the gold one had easier articulations and there weren't any grunts in there. So this one has a little bit of grunts for me, but so did the Banod, but the gold does not. But that sound in the low one. Yeah, Eddie goes, where was this when I was in high school? Right? Can you imagine playing your chromatic like that? It's just so big. Yeah, let's play the low C. Oh, wow. That was great. So for me, the clear one I liked though was this gold one. I felt like the sound was a little bit darker than the carbon fiber, but the carbon fiber is very, very big and powerful. But the articulations on this one were cleaner and beautiful and more what I'm listening for. I play a lot of classical music, so I need to have that precision in there. And I do a lot of recordings, and so you really, really don't want any, I mean, not that you want grunts anyway, but you want to have those really precise the articulations in recordings, so things line up really well. Wow, that is crazy. And you know what's interesting about it, and this is why we try different ligatures, is I made an assumption that I would like the carbon fiber better than the gold for the bass because that's what I liked for the B flat. But it turned out that it was the other way around. So we're very different in, you know, what we want and what the ligatures and the equipment are doing for us. So it's important that you know in your mind what you want to sound like. It's obviously not going to, you know, take the place of the hard work of long tones and technique practice and things like that, but you want your ligature to work for you and enhance your playing and get you to the place that you want to be. That's really what it is. I'm always so sad for the people that really get into the equipment hound kind of thing, because it's always like, well, this is going to solve my next problem, but really you solve your next problem, and then the ligature helps you solve it easier. That's really what it's there for. All right, I'm going to take some of the questions that came in now. All right, let's go back a little bit. Eddie says, I have the Pomerico Black Crystal Star and I love it, but I don't suggest it unless you know you need one. Hard rubber mouthpiece is preferable. Yeah, you know, it's funny. I love the crystal mouthpieces, but I'm always afraid I'm going to break them. But there's no difference between breaking a crystal mouthpiece and a hard rubber mouthpiece. They both break. You have to be careful. If you can afford a low C on your bass clarinet, this is advice from Eddie, get it. Absolutely. That is, if you can afford it, get it. It's absolutely worth it. Yeah, because there's a lot of music with it written in there, and it's really, really fun to play. So I totally agree with that. And then David says, what is your store in Bristol? Okay, so he's working out getting some of the ligatures. Bonade for bass clarinets are great, but I don't tighten it too much. Yeah, you know, the bonade, you know how the bonades work, right? So you're actually just supposed to screw the bottom till it's tight and then the top till it stops but still loose. And I have seen people just screw it and then it just breaks, you know. And then I've had other students that have bonades that fly off their mouthpieces. So they screw them on there, and then whatever it is, whatever the physics of the bonade on certain mouthpieces is, it will fling off the mouthpiece, and it is hilarious but also kind of dangerous. It's a projectile. Yeah, David goes, wow. Yeah, it's true that when I played those two ligatures there was a huge difference. And so being able to put power is great. I played the baritone part on bass by myself in a marching band. Yeah, you definitely, yeah, if you're playing bari sax parts on bass, you have to be able to play a lot louder, because that's the sound the band director usually is looking for. They're listening for a bari sax sound, and we can't give them that, especially if you have a ligature that doesn't let you have that power, or a mouthpiece that doesn't let you have that power. I actually just did a gig in the old days when I could play gigs. It was a holiday concert, and I had to cover a bari sax part on bass clarinet, and that was one of the things that the conductor said. She was like, I need more bari sax. I'm like, well, okay, I can give you more bass clarinet and the bari sax part, but if I'd had this ligature, I definitely could have done that. No glasses to put a ligature reed on. What's that like? Yeah, Eddie is laughing. Yeah, so Eddie likes the carbon fiber for both of them, and yeah, where was this when I was in high school? And will you turn to B flat again? Oh, do you want me to play the B flat one more time? Oh yeah, my sound was a lot better on that Eddie Daniels ligature. Yeah, I'm never going back to the bonade again. David Winfrey says Black Lives Matter, and I'm going to go ahead and allow that. For some reason, YouTube didn't allow that, but yes, I agree, absolutely. Eddie, a tone compliment for me in a buffet is saying something. I personally don't like buffet. Well, my bass is a Selmer, but my B flat is the buffet. And can you play the Eddie Daniels with the Rovner Platinum Gold? Yes, I can do that. And baritone is in the brass marching section. Okay, so what I'll do is I've got my B flat here, and then my Rovner Platinum Gold is over here. So I've got it right there. And let's do that comparison. So let's start with the carbon fiber, which is on here. Let's just do that straight F major scale. about the little squeak and grunt over there. I caught it. Did you see that? You guys were witnesses. I dropped my ligature and I caught it. It's too bad the camera was on a little bit lower. Then we would have slow-moed it. Everybody would have seen my ninja reflexes. I'm also really good at catching pencils when they fall off stands, only because I drop pencils off stands all the time. Okay, so for those of you that have been watching me for a while, you know I've been playing this Rovner Platinum Gold and I really enjoy it. It's a hard ligature to put on my mouth. It's a mouthpiece. It moves the reed. It's one of those ones that I'm kind of suffering through that part. Now I'm not using a fancy mic today. I'm actually just using the mic that's on my phone. Let's put the platinum back on. Nope, sorry, carbon fiber. I just took the platinum off. Carbon fiber is back on. Eddie Daniels. So for me, the Rovner has more of that ring in the lower register, but then it's a little spread as I go further up. But right in here, this area, there is that core and that sound and that control and that focus that I really like. So that I really, really, really like in there. I'm trying to get it off of there. And it's really easy to take on and take off, put on and take off. So I have to be really careful with this Rovner because my reed will move. And you can hear there's more core in that one. Yeah, and I think that, you know, it's a different, you know, structure here, but those rails in there being thicker, I wonder if that's what's helping too. Yeah, and so that's compared to the Rovner. And then if I pull that Silverstein out, and for those of you that know the story of the Silverstein pricing, I think this is an important conversation to have. So there's a little bit of fuzziness in that one. So yeah, this was fun. This is nice to try all these ligatures, but I really love this Eddie Daniels one. And it reminds me of Eddie Daniels because he does have that gorgeous dark sound. It's just beautiful. And I love listening to him play jazz with sort of that dark classical kind of sound. I think it's really, really, really sweet. Okay, so I'm going to answer a couple more questions and then I'm going to wrap it up. So if you have any questions, go ahead and put them in there now. But thank you to Jewel Musical Products for sending these to me to try. I really, really enjoyed them. I love them. I think I have found 2 new ligatures, especially for bass. I'm never, ever going back to that Bernard again. Sorry, Daniel Bernard. All right, so I'm going to answer a couple questions. Here we go. Okay, hey, I just wanted to pop in and say hi. Oh, Cat Lover's here. Hi, I hope you're doing well. I just finished a week of violin boot camp. It was one of the best experiences ever. Awesome. I'm really glad. And then Georgia says platinum for orchestra. And do you play klezmer style? I feel like these ligs would work great for that. Ooh, wouldn't they? Oh my gosh. You know, this is really embarrassing. I don't play klezmer style, but I studied with David Krakauer, and for those of you that know him, he's like klezmer god clarinet player. He every now and then would ask me about it, and I'd be like, no, I want to be in an orchestra. And then now I think I'm gonna call him up and have some lessons because yeah, he's amazing. And then David says, so when I play E and F above that with the register key, and I play it plus the note, it has a rumble sound in. Oh, when I don't know if you're talking about bass. So David, if you could just clarify if you're talking about F and E on the B flat over here, or the altissimo, E and F here, or if you're talking about bass clarinet. So if you can just clarify that question, that would help. And then Ivan says, hi, why don't we put face masks to bells so we can play again? Oh my God, just joking. Have you seen that stuff? Have you seen the face mask where they cut the slit in it so you can play? And I'm like, I don't know why you're trying. I feel for you. And I've seen it where they've taken like little shower caps and put them over the bell. I mean, I feel like all these band directors around the world are desperately trying to get their bands to go, and I think we're going to be out for a while. But it also comes out of all the tone holes. At least we're not in choir where we're just spitting on people. Our spit at least just, does that. Okay, so Cat Lover Music, I think it was, oh good, yeah, Cat Lover I know Cat Lover in real life, and their family is a family of musicians, and that would be amazing. It would be like the Von Trapp family. When you play the Eddie Daniels ligature for a couple of days, you will find much more room to grow. Yes, that's another excellent point. Thank you, David. With the ligatures, it is a shame that you have to try it when you go to a store. You have to try it there. When you go to Clarinet Day, you have to try it there, or Clarinet Fest. But if you can actually have a trial for a couple of days, that will help you pick a ligature better. It's what we do with mouthpieces and clarinets, so there's no reason why we can't do it with ligatures. I think it's just usually based on what that store does, what that dealer is comfortable with. The first one, not altissimo. Okay, David, and on B flat. Okay, so if you're getting a rumble there, go back to the D, and then just try and get to the E without the rumble. You're going to want to have that good embouchure and adjust your tongue into an E position, like you're saying ew, and then you, and then see if you can get to the E. You want to spin that air, lots of support in your abs. Once you can get from D to E nicely, then try E to F. Then go back down to D, E, F. I'm a big advocate for going to the note that works for you and then building from there. So on the opposite side, with younger students or beginner students, and they're learning how to play the clarinet, and one of the things is getting to cover the holes with the pads of your fingers, I'll have them start here and then add going down this way. Okay. Yeah, we're desperate. We are so desperate, Ivan. So desperate! We're gonna be so good at multi-track videos when we come out of this. Okay, Cat Lover, but there's so many different majors you can major in, like pedagogy, and I love that. And you spelled it wrong, but yes, that's okay. I spell everything wrong. So, what did I use on the? I used D'Addario Reserve 4, D'Addario Classic Reserve 4, and then this was the bass clarinet reserve, and I use 3s on bass, so I use a later reed. Okay. It was Mason Arts Academy technique. Oh, good. Okay. And then Georgia says, have you ever played Van Doren mouthpieces, BD5 or others, BD4 and BD7 now? Yes, I used to play the Van Doren 5RV Lyre for many years. I liked that mouthpiece. I liked the dark sound it got for me. And then mouthpieces wear out. You can blow them out and it's time to move on, or you change, your idea of sound changes, or what you want out of articulation to change. So, I try new mouthpieces every couple of years. I'm definitely due for a new mouthpiece from this one. I've been playing it for so long, but I've been happy with it. So yeah, I've played the BD5, but I've actually, I've been happy with this Bakun mouthpiece that I'm on. So, like I said, with the ligatures, everybody's different. Try a whole bunch. Like, you just could see that huge difference between the gold and the carbon fiber just now. So, you want to try different mouthpieces the same way, different reeds too. Oh, Cat Lover, thank you so much for asking about Kiki. She is doing great. So for anybody that's new here and hasn't been here before, I have a one-eyed kitten. She just turned 1, but when she was 6 months old, she was diagnosed with FIP, which is fatal. And we were going to have to put her to sleep. And then I had a vet say, well, there's this secret black market drug from China that you can get and try giving to her and see if she survives. And at that point for her, it was survival. She had lost control of her back legs. That's how we knew something was wrong, because she was dragging herself around. So we tried this illegal, Yeah, here it is on YouTube for everybody to see. It wasn't illegal. It was black market drug from China, and she survived her 84 days of her drug, and she got use of her back legs back, and when she had her blood work done, she doesn't have FIP anymore. So I'll bring her next time so everybody can see her. It was horribly painful for her. They were very bad injections, and we switched to pills, which was crazy expensive, which was hard for us as musicians during this time of COVID, but we were able to get them for her. Now, the reason why her drugs were not approved by the FDA is that the drugs that Kiki used are drugs that they're trying to use for people to cure them and help them through COVID-19. So it's actually related. Kiki had a coronavirus, but just for cats. It doesn't go to people or vice versa. So that's why it wasn't approved for cats, because they want to approve it for people first. So I'm here to tell you it worked. It worked for my cat. So she's in an 84-day observation period, so hopefully it sticks. But yeah, that is the inside story of my one-eyed cat that was supposed to die, but she didn't. She made it. We did lose our old cat though, so I shared the video of him. He was 18, so he passed away on Monday and was really sad, and I'm crying a lot, but we'll be okay. Okay, all right, so you're right, we always change as players. That's Georgia, and we want more, myself included. I'll probably switch from the BD5. If the BD5 works for you, stay there. You know what, another thing I've done, I did this with my bass one, is you can get it refaced by a clarinet refacer, clarinet mouthpiece maker. So I know that there's different mouthpiece technicians, mouthpiece people that reface mouthpieces, and I have definitely upgraded mouthpieces that way, and I've been really, really happy with it. So I didn't need to get a new mouthpiece. I just had it refaced. And then, oh, you're amazing. I saw him on Facebook. Oh, thank you. Yeah, it was really sad. He was my buddy. It's really hard when you lose a pet. You know, sometimes people don't understand. I know people with dogs, people are more understanding, and sometimes people are like, what? It's just a cat. But, you know, when you live with somebody and they love you and you love them for 18 years, it's hard. It's hard when they go. Okay, so I am going to, Eddie says, definitely look into refacing when thinking of another mouthpiece. Absolutely. Yeah, it's a very economical way of moving on to another mouthpiece. Plus, if you like that mouthpiece, you liked it for a reason, and a refacing doesn't cost as much as a new mouthpiece. So I'm a huge fan of refacing the mouthpieces. Okay, so I think I still have the link to the website. Yes, I'm going to add jewelmusic.com again for the website so you guys can go check out these ligatures. Call your local music store and see if they have it so you can try some. I really, really recommend trying some. I really enjoyed all of them. You could hear the difference in all of the different ligatures I have. I mean, poor Silverstein. Dude, this is a really expensive ligature. And the only reason I have one is my sweet, loving husband got me one for my birthday. And it has my name on it. And it's really sweet. It's a really romantic present. And now I'm gonna use this one. So don't tell anybody. Don't tell him. All right, Georgia, I'm going to read yours real quick. BD5 works really well with V12, but I play a lot, and for that reason, I want to make Ligier European playing comfortable. cane reeds change. Oh yeah, cane reeds change. I swear, if the sun goes behind a cloud, my cane reeds change. All right, bye everybody. Thank you. Oh, Cat Lover, thank you for saying I'm the best. I hope you stay safe. I hope all of you stay safe. Thank you so much, and thank you for coming to the box opening. I'm going to do it again. I'm not going to do an unboxing because I feel like that's a little disingenuous if I'm like, oh, we're going to do an unboxing when I already did an unboxing on YouTube. But I'm going to play these mouthpieces again on Facebook. I'm going to do an Instagram live. So if you follow me on Facebook or Instagram, that was a bug. If you follow me on any of those platforms, come to those. I will do those too. Just for people that have done the mouthpiece one, I picked a mouthpiece on the YouTube one, and then I did the Facebook one, and I picked another mouthpiece there, and then I did the Instagram one, and I picked a different mouthpiece there. So it'll be interesting to see how I like the ligatures tomorrow. I don't think I'm ever going to like that banana again, though. I think I can retire that bad boy. Thank you very much. I hope to see you at some of the other social media places, and stay safe and stay healthy and keep practicing. Bye. Oh wait, I have to go this way.